My impact case study is all around children who are looked after, and some people might know children that are fostered, that are in the care of the local authority, and that's the group of children I'm really interested in. And one of the things that makes me interested in this group is the fact that they are very much a vulnerable and marginalised group. Some of that lack of stability leads to poor opportunities in education, and that's not because the professionals don't do their absolute best, it's the situation that these children find themselves in. Because of that, their educational outcomes are significantly worse than their non-looked after peers, and that just leads to poor educational outcomes. There's so much opportunity and talent that's lost and wasted because those young people don't get the opportunities that they need to progress, and that leads into lots of challenges in later life. Children that are looked after are 10 times more likely to enter the criminal justice system. Their health outcomes are likely to be poorer. So what I'm really interested in is, how can we get the education for this group of young people into a place which is better for them, to give them a stronger grounding in life? Every young person has a PEP, that's a personal education plan. And that plan is designed to give the young person some security and surety about their future in terms of the opportunities for education. It's not just about academics, but it's about the opportunities to go to clubs or sports, horse riding, running, these type of activities. It's a real holistic plan around the child. The way that we develop that PEP, that personal education plan, could be better. That experience could be better. The government have given a mandate for us to involve the child. Sometimes it's not always done, and when it is done, it's not always done well, and that's what the research suggests. So part of my project was to explore that experience of developing the PEP and to see if it could be made better by placing the young person's voice in a more amplified position central to that meeting. We chose to use some software that RIX Inclusive Research developed called the RIX Wiki, and this allows young people to tell their story using images, video, text and words, but in their way. And so this was the critical difference, that by applying this piece of software and by asking the young person to tell their own story and prepare for that PEP meeting, that I felt that there was an opportunity to make that PEP experience better, not just for the young person, but also for all of the professionals that were involved in that meeting. They could choose the background, the colour, they could choose to add the pictures into that piece of software in a way that suited them. In that sense, instead of being given a piece of paper and asked to fill in questions in a sort of linear way, they were actually taking control and responding in the way they wanted to, but also in the sequence that they wanted to, and that was very powerful. In that sense, it was co-produced because their voice was shaped by them and the direction was shaped by them. There were 5 primary age children and 4 secondary age children involved in this study, and we worked across 2 local authorities working with those children, and also designated teachers. They're the teachers in school who have a designated responsibility to make sure that the needs are being met of children who are looked after in their school. So often these young people have lives where they don't have control, they don't have agency. And for me, what was really wonderful was to see young people choosing to tell their story in their way. So perhaps I want to tell my story through 5 pictures, or perhaps I want to write a poem to explain how I feel when I go horse riding, or perhaps when I do a big climb or a big run. And this is what the RIX Wiki afforded them. It gave them an opportunity to make choice, and previously when you're given a piece of paper and asked to write down your responses, it does limit how you can express your feelings. Another finding we found was around accessibility. It was really interesting to see how active the young people involved in sharing their voice. Previously, some young people wouldn't be able to write, and so they would voice their responses before the meeting and they would be scribed by an adult. But what we saw was young people actively engaging in creating their own story. So for example, on the iPads there's the ability to speak and for that to be converted into text. There's predictive text as well. We were seeing young people actually writing but also recording their own voice and taking control. So no longer are they just a report, but they're a life in colour and being presented during that meeting. There's lots of wonderful examples in the interviews about laughter in those meetings, joy in those meetings, about that young person being proud of their voice. And there is that joyfulness which, whilst on the surface, might not seem to matter, but which matters so deeply. This is a meeting about that young person, and we want them to feel like it's their meeting and they matter. And also we want the adults to enjoy the meeting. This is not just another one of those meetings. This is a meeting that is about making sure that we make the right choices to support this young person who needs our help so much. Some of the next steps for RIX is to continue to develop our software. We're always ambitious and technology is always changing, and that just means that we're looking to develop the software, so we're incorporating that into an app, being where young people are, being able to move around with their devices and to make use of the power of those technologies. In terms of future research, I'm taking this project on the next stage of its journey as part of my Masters. I'm looking to further explore that experience, to look at how we can improve that experience and to embed the technology more thoroughly and thoughtfully into the process, and to understand the benefits and the value of using multimedia advocacy to improve the personal education plan process. And that's what it's all about. How can we improve this experience through technology which is accessible? So often, some of these endemic challenges that we face around children and the margins of society are best solved by children on the margins of society. They have the solutions, but what we need to do is to give them the tools that they need to share those solutions.